In May of 1992, Spawn #1 was released by Image Comics. Created by famed comic book artist Todd McFarlane, Spawn followed Albert Simmons, a high-ranking United States military assassin who is betrayed and murdered by his superiors. He descends to hell for his sins on Earth, but is able to return after making a deal with the devil, Malebolgia, to serve as a Hellspawn. Al Simmons is one of many Hellspawns that have returned throughout history, so when Todd McFarlane started Todd Toys, later renamed McFarlane Toys, he produced many incarnations of the different spawns throughout the ages. Viking Spawn, Mandarin Spawn, and Alien Spawn are just a few examples, and today we'll be taking a look at Zombie Spawn, here on Creed's Collection. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Creed's Collection, and week 2 of the 4 weeks of Halloween. Today we're taking a look at Zombie Spawn from the 1996 Series 7 Spawn toy line by McFarlane Toys. Here's a closer look at him inside the bubble, and as you can see in the lower right corner there, he comes with 4 drop-dead weapons. On the back of the card, you can see the rest of Series 7 there at the top, as well as some of the other Spawn figures and collections that are available, as well as a file card that we'll check out later, and some instructions on how his accessories work. And I'm sure you figured it out by now. It's unboxing time. I'm doing my usual technique where I put the blade underneath the plastic here, and I just slice down very carefully. I go all around the outside edges here, and then I can open it like a book. This way I can always put the figure back in the packaging or just display the packaging. Man, this turned really yellow, so let's go ahead and get all this stuff out of here and take a look at him. And behold, we have Zombie Spawn. Before becoming Zombie Spawn, this warrior was murdered at a young age. Seeking revenge, he, like Al Simmons, made a deal with Malebolgia to return as a Hellspawn. Spawn have a finite amount of power, but if they manage it properly, they can live for hundreds of years. And he is now so old that his body and armor have been repaired hundreds of times. Nearing the end of his existence on Earth, he is little more than a rotting corpse. However, he has now armed himself with a high-tech gun and chainsaw, refusing to give up. And now that we know a bit more about Zombie Spawn, let's take a closer look. Zombie Spawn is so highly detailed that I'm not even sure where I'm supposed to begin. But for me, the most standout feature is his face. He kind of makes me think of the Trooper from Iron Maiden, and I think no matter what angle you see him at, he just looks incredible. Here at the top, I really like this shoulder pad he has, pretty excellent looking. And this flap of skin hanging off his face over his mouth is nice, almost like he got melted from a fire. Hellspawn. He's sporting a Punisher style belt buckle, and I like his red loincloth. Seems to be a theme with McFarlane figures. The hand sculpt looks creepy and amazing, and the arm blade, another McFarlane toy theme, looks awesome. His boots kind of feel medieval, but he does have a holster there for his sawed-off shotgun. As we come around to the back of Zombie Spawn, you can see what looks like a communication pack. I'm really not sure why he'd have that, but if we take a closer look, you can see that basically that's what it is. I mean, this has to be an antenna, right? Right here. So I wonder who he's talking to. Now we're going to take a look at Zombie Spawn's included accessories. This is his broadsword. It looks pretty good. There's actually a peg on the backside here that you plug into his hand. And I have to say it works pretty well. You just plug it in right here, and I'll show you. There you go. Once it's in, he holds onto it very nicely without dropping it. But let's say he doesn't want to carry it. Well, right here on his back is a spot where you can slide it in for safekeeping. Zombie Spawn also comes with a chainsaw. It's got the handle, the blade here. On the back of the handle is a peg to plug it into his hand, just like the gun. The engine's down here on the bottom, and it pretty much looks exactly the same on both sides. Here it is pegged into his hand, but also you can put it in the other hand. Even though the peg doesn't go in, he can still hang onto it with the handle. And I have to say, holding that chainsaw, Zombie Spawn definitely looks like he could be the killer in a horror movie. Scarlet, Chitara, Wonder Woman, Where is everyone? You must be joking. I take on skull-faced jerks every single day. Ah! Alright, getting back to Zombie Spawn's accessories, we have his double-barreled shotgun here, like a sawed-off shotgun. This thing is pretty sweet. I really like the fact that you can store it right here on the holster on his leg. I mean, it's super bulky, but I just have a thing for being able to store all the accessories on the figure. And even though it doesn't have a peg, he still holds this gun just fine. And looks pretty cool wielding it as well. The last of Zombie Spawn's accessories is this ridiculous looking assault rifle. I'm going to assume that right here on the front that this is a flashlight. Maybe this is the regular machine gun and perhaps a grenade launcher here. We got the magazine here, and up here it looks like a top feed grenade system. I don't know. It looks pretty much the same on both sides, and it does have the peg on the inside of the handle like the other guns, so you can put it in his hand firmly. And honestly, it looks even more ludicrous in his hand. Now we're going to take a look at Zombie Spawn's articulation. Both of his knees bend. This one barely does it all, but you know, a little. And on this side, it goes up a bit more, but still not very good. Now up here on the hips, it looks like you should be able to move them, but unfortunately I could not make mine budge at all. His elbows have almost a 90-degree bend to them, and his shoulders can also go up a little bit, but they are blocked by some of his armor. That's on both sides, of course. His head can turn left and right, and that is it. That covers all the points of articulation for Zombie Spawn. Oddly, the copyright date on the bottom of his foot says 1997 McFarlane Toys, but I know for a fact this figure came out in '96. Here's the file card for Zombie Spawn. If you'd like to read it, go ahead and pause now. Before we move on, I just wanted to show this Zombie Spawn variant with light gray skin and brown armor. I like the one I have better. What do you think? And now for our He-Man size comparison. Zombie Spawn is quite a bit taller than He-Man, as are most McFarlane Toys, but as Tila proved, he's no match for the power of Grayskull. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy retrospective on Zombie Spawn from the 1996 Series 7 Spawn toy line by McFarlane Toys. Week 2 of the 4 weeks of Halloween is in the books, and I'm really looking forward to week 3. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up, and if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button because, hey, you're watching the video, so why not subscribe? I do a retrospective on a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday, so hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.